Today I will be demonstrating the database project. Of the database, Jose was in charge of register controller. So this is our main method, and all it does is launches the JavaFX application, and it starts off by loading in the register file. The register file basically takes the username, password, the first name, the last name, and the email, whatever is inside of the fields. And there's an alert that says please fill out all of the fields if any one of the fields are empty. And if they're all full, then it inserts the data into the database. If no duplicate entries exist, then an alert retrieves the message successfully registered. If username already exists, it alerts the user, and same thing with the email. Button that switches to login, and that will be demonstrated in a moment. Controller, and it does similar things, except it only takes the username and the password, and it also checks if the fields are empty. Then it uses one of the database's methods called login, which takes a username and password as an argument. If 2 is returned, then the username does not exist. If 2 is returned, the password is wrong. Otherwise, the login is successful. And what it does is creates a connection to the localhost. The connection name is called Comp440. The username is user. The password is user login, and a connection is created. It's called insert user info. Here's a query that checks for duplicate usernames. It uses a prepared statement. What a prepared statement basically does is you're able to set a username to the question mark. So the parameter index starts when 1, and if you have more question marks, then it goes to 2, 3, and so on. So if a username exists in the database, if it does, it returns 1, so there's a duplicate. Query does the same thing as above. Email already exists, and it returns 2. It inserts the user password, first name, last name, and the email. Successfully updated, 0s returned. And all it does is selects the count from user where username, and in the question mark username is being passed, and so is password in the password area. To the next row, since here, so it moves it to the next row. Checks if the username count is 1, meaning the database, and if it's greater than 0, it exists, and it proceeds to check if the password is associated with that username. If it is, it returns 50, but if it's not, it returns 2. If the username doesn't exist, 1 is returned. It says the username already exists. Let's choose B this time. The wrong password. Wrong. Let's try to log in with the wrong username. It says username doesn't exist. It also prevents SQL infection. So we could use information from the tables. Maybe someone with bad intentions wants to do this. Can make strings together and just execute the query directly. This is what would happen.